Identity, self-discovery, resilience. These are not merely words, but echoes of questions that have shaped every corner of the human experience. We arrive in this world, blank pages in a story already being written, surrounded by expectations, traditions and roles. And somewhere in the tumult of it all, many of us lose sight of who we are, not in a moment but in fragments, slowly scattered through years of compromise and conformity. But is this loss final, or is it simply the beginning of a rediscovery? Let's explore this idea. The seats are empty, the theatre is dark. Why do you keep acting? These haunting words from an unknown author cut to the core of our reality. From childhood we are handed masks to wear. Identities crafted not by us but for us. The good student, the loyal friend, the dutiful child. And so we perform, convincing ourselves that these roles define us. But when the curtain falls and the audience disappears, who remains? Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once wrote, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." To betray ourselves is to live half a life, one filled with quiet desperation and unrealized potential. Removing the mask is not easy. It demands vulnerability, the courage to confront our reflection without embellishment. But in shedding these false identities, we take the first step towards something far greater: authenticity. Somewhere in the world, there is a tree that sprouted the same day you were born, growing alongside you. This poetic idea reminds us that growth is not a destination but a process, one shaped by time and experience. We often think of self-discovery as a grand revelation, but more often it is a gradual unfolding. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the integration of every part of ourselves, including the shadows we try to ignore. The truth is, to discover who we are, we must walk paths of uncertainty, pain and joy. Like the roots of a tree deepening with every storm, our struggles anchor us, making us stronger, more grounded. To know yourself is not to arrive at a final answer. It is to embrace the ever-changing nature of your existence, to welcome growth as both a challenge and a gift. Those who escape hell, however, never talk about it, and nothing much bothers them after that, wrote Cormac McCarthy in The Road. Resilience is born not in ease but in adversity. It is forged in the moments that shatter us, teaching us to rebuild from the fragments. But resilience is not mere survival, it is transformation. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Pain, though inevitable, is a teacher. It forces us to question, to adapt, to find meaning even in the darkest of times. It is not the absence of struggle that defines us, but our response to it. Every scar tells a story, not of defeat, but of perseverance. Never trust a person who betrays others, even if he betrays them for you, said Aesop. Integrity, like identity, is a fragile thing, and yet it is the foundation of authenticity. To live authentically is not to be flawless. It is to align your actions with your values, to stand firm even when the world tempts you to waver. As Nietzsche put it, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. When you know who you are, the chaos of the world cannot uproot you. Authenticity is not a mask. It is the courage to live without one. Identity, self-discovery, resilience. These are not isolated concepts, but interconnected threads in the tapestry of life. To find yourself is not to become someone new, but to remember who you have always been. It is to gather the scattered pieces, to embrace the beauty of imperfection and to stand tall, like a tree weathered but unbroken. Let us end with the words of Rumi. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? So perhaps the question is not, who am I? But am I willing to grow into who I am meant to be? The journey is not to find yourself, it is to remember yourself.